Hey Justin, let's take a look at your week 3 assignment 3 drawing. The drawing overall is working out very nicely, a lot better in a lot of ways from the last assignment, as it should. Line work feels better, edge quality feels much better. The drawing in general just has, I think, more of a finished, refined, solid feel to it. The structure itself feels well built. Perspective is, to me, seems like it's working out in all ways, and the way that kind of corners are nice and sharp and everything is just kind of measured very symmetrically. I can even see that you've X'd out kind of the central point for where your door midline for the door would be. It feels good. It feels really good overall. I do think the coloring is an issue, and I'm not sure at this point what you can do other than just see if you can slowly kind of build up a little bit more of your arsenal. But it does feel very monochromatic, a lot of gray in place, and then a lot of just kind of this kind of brown color, and not much else other than that. I think if you had some colored pencils that you could work with, you could integrate a little bit more color, just kind of adding in, say an orange into some of the grain, or being able to incorporate a little bit of a red or something else within the wood to give it a little more richness. But it does feel limited, I would say, in that respect, and in a way that kind of affects overall visual interest, because you don't have a lot of variety. And even in color theory, if you worked with the monochromatic color scheme, it wouldn't be as interesting as an analogous, which wouldn't be as interesting as, say, visually wouldn't have as much contrast to it as a tetrad or a triad color scheme. So you don't necessarily always need to have a bunch of colors in place, but if you do have a certain amount of variation that is controlled and unified, it definitely adds to the drawing. And I think that, for me, more than anything else, is really what the drawing feels like it's missing. It has a good amount of texture. The wood on the ground floor is very well done, feels very convincing. The way that you're blinding on the object itself starts to create a type of texture as well, and I'd almost love to see it occur on this side a little bit more. You've got some great contrast and texture on the glass panels, and the perspective looks good. So there's definitely a lot of things that are working out here. Marker technique is also working out well. Edge quality feels a lot better than what we were seeing in the last assignment. You've got good value range in place. There's some highlights in place. So I think overall it pretty much is doing what we would want from this assignment, and it's doing everything very well. But I do think, especially as we move into next week, you're going to have a lot of problems working with a limited range of colors, because you're going to be having to work from source material that, unless you're very kind of choosy, you're gonna feel like you're not gonna be able to hit the mark kind of correctly on representing what it is that you're seeing. So I think at the very least, see if you can scrounge around and get a few colored pencils, which are going to be cheaper than the markers, to help supplement things, and see if you can integrate some of those into the marker renderings, which I think will help. Otherwise, you're doing a good job. Your technique looks great. Your drawings underneath everything feel sound. And I think you pretty much hit the mark on the majority of the concepts for this assignment. So just a good job, and keep it up.